FM News Talk 97.1.
On demand audio. You're listening to Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
You know, Tina had called in but couldn't hang on and thought that student that I just talked about was an Obama plant. Well, if that student was an Obama plant, it certainly backfired on Obama. I mean, that is, if you are a smart, common sense-oriented person. If you're an Obama fan, then you're like, oh, good, he got a chance to talk about building roads and bridges again. Roads! Oh, good, he got a chance to talk about making electric cars again. Obama was so weak that, and I disagree with people who thought that it was like an even draw. I just did not see that. But maybe that's just my my Romney-colored glasses. Who knows? They got into the whole Fast and Furious thing, and Obama his response was, I'm going to hire more teachers. I mean, it was a debacle. And fun to watch. And I was, honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to be a pansy about it. I was a little uncomfortable. I saw Romney like running circles around this guy. I'm thinking, golly, he's the president of the United States. It's kind of weird.
Who decides to do the setup of the stage the way it is? I mean, like, why would you?
I don't know.
Have them able to get so close to one another?
I don't know, but I thought it was really cool. It was like Romney caught him inside his house or something, and then sat him down and started talking to him about how bad it is to be a burglar.
I mean, it certainly gives you a different feel when you're stuck behind a desk and have the freedom to, like, walk the stage. You, like, kind of changes your mentality.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. And Romney handled that very well. You know, and as stiff as he is, Obama's swagger and looseness didn't help him at all. Slouchiness and everything else didn't help him at all. But it's clear about these two things. These two do not like each other. That's evident. And also, they're both guys who have not been told no a whole lot in their lifetime, which is not a bad thing either. And so both these guys have a certain prickliness that actually added to that debate last night that I thought was pretty good. I'll get to your phone calls in a second. Let me go through some of the highlights here real quickly, okay? Let's go to, Golly, where do I start? Romney did a great job on the immigration question. Here's what Romney had to say on immigration.
I was born in Mexico of American parents. Ann's dad was born in Wales and is a first-generation American. We welcome legal immigrants into this country. I want our legal system to work better. I want it to be streamlined. I want it to be clearer. I don't think shouldn't have to hire a lawyer to figure out how to get into this country legally. I also think that we should give visas to people, green cards rather, to people who graduate with skills that we need. People around the world with accredited degrees in science and math, get a green card stapled to their diploma. Come to the US of A. We should make sure that our legal system works. Number two, we're going to have to stop illegal immigration. There are 4 million people who are waiting in line to get here legally. Those who've come here illegally take their place.
So he's... You know, I thought he articulated that policy very well. It dispelled these myths that Republicans don't like immigrants. They always talk about Republicans are against immigration. Well, baloney. I know that's easy for us to kind of navigate, but believe it or not, a lot of people who watch mainstream media think that about Republicans. And that's just baloney. And I'm glad he pointed out. He also pointed out, he goes, listen, Obama, you talk about your he tried to ask him, he said, you talk about your immigration plan. But you had the total run of the roost there. You had Democrats dominated Congress. You were in the White House, and you still didn't fulfill your promise of passing any kind of immigration reform. And Obama still blamed it on the Republicans. It was just outrageous. This most dramatic moment to me was when Obama was trying to claim that he had increased oil production and permits and all that stuff in this country.
Oil production is up. Natural gas production is up. And most importantly, we're also starting to build cars that are more efficient. And that's creating jobs. That means those cars can be exported because that's the demand around the world. And it also means that it'll save money in your pocketbook. That's the strategy you need on all of the above strategy, and that's what we're going to do in the next 4 years.
But that's not what you've done in the last 4 years. That's the problem.
Sure.
In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
Yeah, so he was all over him. And Obama's answer was, well, we didn't let them sitting on this and this and this. And then Romney came back and said, that's baloney, too. So it was a great discussion. And at one point, 16 here, it seemed Romney almost told Obama to sit the hell down. It was really like, whoa, really?
You'll get your chance in a moment. I'm still speaking.
Well,
and the answer is, I don't believe people think that's the case because that wasn't a question.
Okay.
That was a statement.
So he's like, wow. I mean, it was pretty, and people who can't stand Romney obviously were livid. How dare he speak to the commander-in-chief that way? It was completely dishonorable. Well, you know what? Welcome to presidential elections, dude. And I thought also, just as a quick observation here, that when it came time for these guys to fisticuff, I was thinking to myself, wow, that one time when Al Gore dared walk in the space of GW, that became like a big deal. These guys were in each other's space all night long. Charles Krauthammer, cut number 11 here, thought it was awesome.
Well, I was interested to hear Megyn say that women don't like the kind of in-your-face fighting that we basically saw in the debate. I can't speak for her gender, but I can speak on behalf of mine. We love this stuff. This was a boxing match. This was heavyweight. This was Fraser Ali. Even the stage was sort of like an arena, a ring where they circled each other. At one point, I thought they were going to sort of use their mics as weapons, and it would turn into the Taiwanese parliament where you get these fantastic fist fights.
That would have been awesome, as far as I'm concerned. And I actually think, to tell you the truth, in looking at that, I actually think Romney could take him. As much as they talk about Obama being an athlete and all that kind of stuff, it looked to me like Romney could probably take Obama in any kind of physical match. Is it true, Denise, that women don't like to watch that kind of stuff?
I don't, but I'm not sure I can speak for most women.
Don't like to watch what, the arguing?
Yeah.
Well, then Megyn Kelly, I guess, was right. 969-9797, 866-455-9797.